And meanwhile, Walmart applied for a patent that will allow it to track the way products are used once customers take them home. Come on now, Bill Simons, former president and CEO of Walmart USA. Bill, I know the company's playing catch up in so many ways, but this seems a little invasive, no?
Kind of crazy, Charles, isn't it? Thanks for having me. But, you know, sometimes innovation seems that way, and it might not make any sense today, but maybe that's something down the road that could translate into a win for them. And they are playing catch-up to a certain extent with Amazon.
It feels like Walmart is trying, because it is playing catch-up, I don't know if it's a pride and ego kind of thing, but to catch up in the most unconventional of ways. Their biggest acquisition online is Jet.com, and yet just 2 weeks ago, PetSmart made a $3 billion acquisition of Chewy, which is even bigger. So it feels like they're going slow on the acquisition trail. They're doing things that may be usurped by Internet of Things. It feels awkward. It just feels like they haven't come to the realization that they're far behind and they need to make perhaps drastic moves to catch up.
Well, and it's all relative, too, Charles. I mean, good retailers are still doing really well. Costco, Aldi, the dollar stores, to a certain extent, are still doing really well. And Walmart's really, really good at price and assortment. And every time they do that well, they're successful. And when they stray from it, they run into trouble. Several years ago, we eliminated a lot of SKUs with an obsession for Target, and the dollar stores sucked up that volume, and that was really their resurgence. And today, you know, you've got Aldi and now Lidl entering the country on the value grocery segment, and Walmart needs to be careful too, because they're going to get flanked on that end as well.
Yeah, well, that's one thing that people are having a hard time outsourcing, right? I mean, they like to go and fill those vegetables. Bill, I do want to ask you, I had Trump's economic advisor, Gary Cohn, on Friday, and we discussed many things, including bringing overseas cash back home. I want you to listen to this. Roll tape.
Big one-time incentive rate to get a lot of the money offshore. You know, we know there's trillions of dollars offshore. We want to get that back into America. We know if we don't incentivize people to bring that money back, it will get invested overseas. We've seen it. The history tells us exactly what's going to happen. We want to get that money back, and we want to get it back as soon as possible. So we are going to give people an incentive rate to bring it back. Over time, we're going to a territorial system that will deal with a lot of these issues, and it will allow companies to move their capital around as they want to.
Bill, what do you have to say about that?
That's exactly right. It is bang on. There is so much money offshore because of the tax code and the law, the puzzle pieces, if you will, that the businesses have to figure out today, that the CEOs have to figure out to deliver profit, lead to offshore activity and lead to the money staying offshore and being invested overseas. In order for us to have what we want, the growth rates that we need in this country, we have to get that money back, and we have to have a territorial system, either a border adjustment or a value-added tax or something to equalize the incentive, to recut the puzzle pieces, because our business leaders are really creative and really capable. If the puzzle pieces lead to domestic investment, that's what will happen. Today, that's not the case.
Well, I kind of tossed out border adjustment a few times during the interview. He never took the bait on that. Nevertheless, Paul Ryan still likes that idea. He's going to be going around the country, including Ohio on Wednesday. Where do the brick and mortar guys stand? Because you just sounded like you were okay with it, but from what I thought this would be an absolute killer for most of your brick and mortar retailers.
Well, the devil's in the detail, Charles, but implemented, it would be very effective. Brick and mortar CEOs today are obligated, because of their fiduciary responsibility, to tell you that they don't like it. They'll do the analysis, and based on the rules that are set up today, they won't like it. But in the end, we can't live in a system that incents our companies to invest offshore and leave the money over there and to only import products. We can't live in this barbell economy that we've come to, and we've got to rebuild the middle. Retail jobs and restaurant jobs were never meant to be $15 an hour jobs, but we don't have the middle for people to progress to, which is sort of, ended us where we are today.
Bill, thank you very, very much. Very insightful stuff. I appreciate it. We'll have you again real soon. Thank you.